Hey everyone, Pastor KP here, your friendly neighborhood pastor. Hope all is well with you. Hope you're staying strong in the Lord. Welcome to Free Doulos TV, my YouTube channel. Appreciate all the support, all the subscribers. I appreciate you. The comments, I appreciate it. The fact that you've shared the stuff that I've put up, appreciate that. Everything I appreciate, man. Just help me grow it. Help me grow it. I'm venturing out into a space that you don't often see Adventist pastors venturing out, right? Putting my comments out there, putting information out there, and I appreciate the support and the kind words and the things that you have been saying, right? I'll do my very best to be consistent, number one, and to put content that is edifying and uplifting, okay, and informative as well. Let's see here. So I shared Pastor Vine's video, and that's how this thing started, right? Not the channel, but just this aspect of, because I have a few things on there already on my channel, but this one has really generated a lot of traffic. The video, it's a powerful presentation by Conrad Vine, pastor, or I don't know if he's the senior pastor or one of the pastors at the Village Seventh-day Adventist Church. Powerful, courageous, informative, enlightening. A person who has the heart of a Christian. It was kind. The presentation wasn't disparaging. It wasn't attacking our church. It wasn't attacking members, right, or attacking our leaders. I don't believe that's the case. It gave voice to the voiceless, right, and hope to individuals who are in despair right now. My honest assessment of the message, and that's why I had to share it, and that's why I'm following up with some commentary in terms of what he did. Okay, so shout outs to you, Pastor Vine. Never met him. When I was at Andrews and I visited Village, I don't know if he was there at the time. When I was in the seminary, that is. But shout outs to him, man. I don't know if this will get to him or whatever the case is, but if it does, hey, shout outs to you, Pastor Vine, for what you did. And, just keep doing what you're doing, man, because Adventists are struggling out there. And it's good to know that we have someone like him and the Village Church for being brave enough to facilitate some of the discussions that's like taboo since 2020 and 21 came about. You're not supposed to say anything. The world that we're in right now, it's created an environment of fear and an environment of bullying, a bullying environment, and an environment where you are cursed and called a fool for standing up for your rights and saying, no, I have a choice and I will have a say in what happens to my body. The letter that he read at the beginning of the presentation, excellent start, man. Excellent once again start. To have a real document from someone that was affected, that's being affected because of something that we did as an Adventist church, right? Our leaders put out a document, and now the world is using it in order to attack Seventh-day Adventists. Yeah, I mean, we couldn't be any further off the mark than we are with that. Our document is to help Adventists, or inform, as well as help. It's heartbreaking to hear that, and of course, Pastor Vine took the approach that he did in sharing it, and that video is probably like almost 80,000, right? So it's getting around, right? He took that approach, but a lot of people had similar experiences, but they didn't think to, let me send it to somebody, let me send it to KP, let me send it to Pastor Vine or somebody, so that they can get it out there. Stand up for your members. I just made some notes, so I'm going to share some of the notes before I get into it. I have some quotes here that I would like to look at. Stand up for your members. I'm going to share some information from PARL as well. I went to their website and I looked at some things. I'm going to share some things with you. And the current environment in our churches, it's not as bad now, but it's still bad, toxic. distrustful. People are at each other's throat. Pastors against members, members against pastors, member against member. The shot versus the shot, vanilla versus non-vanilla. And the information that we're getting from higher ups has further fueled this division, because the documents that we have gave people the tool that they need in order to force their ideas and their agendas. So we have discussions in our churches. It's still happening, right? We have a service for the shots, for the vanilla, and those who don't have the vanilla, they can have their own service. That's how far we've gone. I've heard some situations where you can't be in the praise team unless you have the vanilla. I mean, where have we gone in the Adventist church? I'm talking about, yes, there's at least one church I know of. You cannot be in the praise team unless you have the vanilla. All right, PARL. Let's go to the quotes, right? Don't want to go off on a tangent here. One of the original core departments of the church was initially established to promote and maintain religious liberty, with particular emphasis upon the most intimate freedom, individual liberty of conscience. You hear that? Intimate freedom, individual liberty of conscience. The department works for the religious liberties of individual church members. That's what the PARL works for. They're supposed to do. PARL is supposed to do, right? Shout outs to Dr. Diop. He was my former professor at Oakwood. Love him. I had a tight friendship with him. We haven't been in touch since I left. I've been in touch with him a few times, but shout outs to him for the work that he's doing, and no knock against him. But I know Dr. Diop, he's the head of PARL right now, right? And I've defended him online because individuals are attacking him. But I know the man. I know him, right? And he's a good man. But unfortunately, I think our leaders have gotten it wrong based on what that document, especially the expansion of the 2015 immunization document, right? They've gotten it wrong in the reaffirmation document. And I will get to that document. I will get to it, and we'll talk about some things. But liberty of conscience, individual liberty of conscience, right? We fight for that as Seventh-day Adventists. We're about that. The Holy Spirit speaks to people. Priesthood of all believers. We don't have a pope. We don't have someone or some entity with ultimate authority. And this authority is so closed that they're not open to any feedback. That's not what it means when we talk about authority. Okay? So when they went ahead and did that, put that document together, I'm sorry, it was not led by God. I don't believe it. They may have good intentions, but it didn't play out that way. Okay? Let's continue. And listen to this now. Continuing with this General Conference Working Policy Manual, PARL, right? For PARL, the PARL section. Jesus never used confrontational methods such as economic or physical pressure. What are we dealing with right now? Economic and physical pressure. Governments are abusing their people, locking them down, shutting them out of society because they refuse to take the vanilla. They don't want those shots, the jab, the stab. They don't want it, right? Jesus never used Jesus never used that approach. Church members should and institutions must remain free and independent from organizations which might violate a member's conscience. I don't know what ties we need to cut, but we need to cut it because we have wrapped ourselves in a situation that we're in some serious problems because we're willing to side with organizations that are violating people's conscience, right? Independent, their civil liberties and their human rights, violating human rights, violating civil liberties, hands down. You're offering guns, you're offering marijuana, you're offering beer, you're offering donuts, taking things into your body that will damage your health in order to get something that is not working well. And our document is promoting, the wholesale obedience and submitting ourselves to that type of coercion and manipulation. The union, I'll put these quotes, by the way, in the video as well, right? The union of church and state is a sure formula for discrimination and intolerance and offers a fertile soil for the spread of persecution. We know this. We know this throughout throughout the Bible, right? Throughout history. For individuals who choose to follow God, when the state gets involved, they persecute. They use means and methods in order to accomplish their evil goals. Individuals want to consolidate power. You have dictators. You have closed societies because a certain group of individuals or one person decide that they are going to have ultimate power and authority. They will kill people, take your stuff. It's just human history. We know this. This is what we know. And I'm glad we have it in our document. So we're violating the principles of our own documents. Jesus never did this. Never did Jesus ever do this, right? Let me see if there's another quote that I had highlighted here, right? But I think those are the two quotes that I have that I want to focus on. But I want to get to the PARL website. Listen to this, talking about PARL and the fact that they stand up for their members, right? This is coming from, I'll put it in the description box, by the way, so that you'll have, this is Pillars of PARL. So listen to this now in terms of, I'll start at this particular one. Developing relationships of trust with governments and with political, religious, and community leaders. That's okay. Associating with governments who work through international programs to benefit the whole of humanity. All right? Listen to this now. Partnering with international and regional organizations with whom the Adventist Church shares values, such as the promotion of health, education, humanitarian work, and human rights. That's what we do. That's what we do. Human rights. I'll put this in the description box. Read it for yourself. And this is Pillars of PARL, right? Let me continue here. So human rights, because right now Nuremberg Code is being violated. Working for the restoration of justice to vindicate those who are wronged. Hello, discriminated against. The vanilla versus those who have the vanilla, they have access to society. If you don't have the vanilla, you're going to be locked down, restricted, called all types of terrible names, right? The persecuted, unjustly detained. Hello, Australia, and all the other countries that are doing this to their citizens, right? And abused. To train every Seventh-day Adventist to become an ambassador of freedom and truth, right? To collaborate with UN and other international agencies to promote the principles of human dignity, the values of peace, justice, and freedom, right? So that's under Pillars of PARL B. Pillars of PARL B. Let me share another one with you. This is God's solidarity with humanity, right? Listen to this. In a church setting, the root justification for our promotion of human rights. Let me move this over here, right? Advocacy for religious freedom, the claim to be the voice of the voiceless, the defense of the powerless, and all legitimate endeavors is solidarity with God. If it is not the root cause, then we may be playing God or be victim of a narcissistic delusional illness. Let me talk about that for a second. So the Seventh-day Adventist Church and our leaders, and I have to warn members about this sometimes, because of our Bible knowledge and our understanding of prophecy and having the writings of Ellen White, we have put ourselves in a narcissistic position where we look down on individuals who don't know the Bible like we do, and sometimes we treat our members terribly simply because we believe that we have special authority as leaders, elected leaders, to do things in the Seventh-day Adventist Church. So when this talks about here, be victim of a narcissistic delusional illness, that's right. We just had a document that was put out in response to Pastor Vine. And let me say, it sounds a little bit like being victim of a narcissistic delusional illness or playing God. It's in here, PARL's website. This is God's solidarity with humanity, A, right? Let me continue to read. One of the most significant and moving revelations in the Christian faith is the depth of solidarity with God shows to human beings who he created in his own image. God identifies us to such degree that our attitude vis-a-vis the poor is correlated to our attitude toward God. Proverbs 14 verse 31, whoever oppresses a poor man insults his maker, but he who is generous to the needy honors him. Proverbs 17 verse 5, whoever mocks the poor insults his maker. God freely chose to be involved in the destiny of human beings. He created in his own image. In Scripture, God showed solidarity with his people Israel. Moreover, in the first covenant, God told Israel, whoever touches you touches the apple of my eye. I'm going to stop it there. But please check out the PARL information. There are other things in here that you will see for yourself. But I just wanted to highlight that, right? It was on page 11 for the first one, and this one is on page 19, right? Page 19, where it talks about God's solidarity with humanity. I'm going to end it here. But yeah, man, just, love being a Seventh-day Adventist, love being a Seventh-day Adventist pastor. I think we have a special message for a special last day message for the world, and we need to get back to that, and we have to find ourselves dealing with the things that we're supposed to deal with, spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ, and not be caught up in the things of this world, claiming that we're trying to be good citizens. No, not when we are turning on our own. All right, until next time. All right, this is your friend and neighborhood pastor here. Continue to support. Remember this, only what you do for Christ will last. Stay blessed.